And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Subject Delta, who asked the question, who would win in a fight? Mary Shaw from Dead Silence versus Slappy from Goosebumps. So Mary Shaw was a ventriloquist who was crazy, started killing people. They eventually caught her, but her spirit lingered, and essentially if you were to scream in her presence, you would have your tongue ripped out. She would rip out your tongue, and in a deleted scene we see that she actually uses like her own tongue to rip your tongue. It's weird. But she is a vengeful spirit ventriloquist, which the only way to theoretically kill her would be to destroy all of her dolls. Which in the movie, spoilers, they don't do because she had one secret doll that she never let on about. But she has as a ventriloquist, she has the ability to throw her voice. As a spirit, she has the ability to theoretically possess any puppet she wants, to basically command, fly, become incorporeal, things along those lines. With Slappy, he is a living living dummy. That's they don't really go into what he's capable of doing is the thing. I mean, maybe they do it. I've missed it because it's been so long. Slappy. I mean, personality-wise, his information states that Slappy constantly insists that he's not a dummy or a fool. He insists you are. He's evil and even sadistic. One of his primary objectives is to enslave humans to serve his bidding. Slappy has a cutting sense of humor and takes pleasure in slewing insults. Slappy is a cruel prankster, often making terrible mess wherever he goes. Typically, he allows others to take blame for his misdoings. However, Slappy is presented as an anti-hero. In terms of what he's actually capable of, I mean, yesterday someone will say the magic words written on a card kept in Slappy's pocket. Karu Mari Odana Loma Malunu Karano, which will awaken him again. It reveals that it's a twin bar walleye carved from the same coffin. However, this is only viewed in the dream. What Slappy's actually capable? I mean, he's capable of causing a lot of problems, a lot of havoc and mayhem, things along those lines. I get that completely. But I mean, his biggest weakness is someone will say the words that will put him back to sleep again. I mean, Slappy the Dummy's abilities. Let's see about powers and abilities, because I'm not seeing any, apart from being a supernatural dummy, that walks around and is pretty much sentient. I'm not getting a great deal of. Let's try Villains Wiki instead. Can I get an idea of what he's actually capable of here? Let's see. Goosebumps. God. Powers. Yeah. Freaking. Sometimes hate these sites. That's a damn ad. There we go. So let's see here now. Slappy the Dummy, create an antagonist, and Chiller Horror Book of Halloween. Goosebumps, sorry. Appearance, we don't need his appearance. Crimes, goals, powers. Okay, soul absorption. Some magical abilities and more physical strength than you'd think a dummy would have. Okay, so big thing is he can absorb souls and some magical abilities. All right, that at least gives us an idea of how a fight could actually now go down between them. So, with that being said, Slappy being a dummy, let's assume he's actually part of Mary Shaw's collection. But as her spirit is wandering through her collection, she actually notices something she didn't notice in Slappy before. And she reads it out loud. Being able to throw her voice, she reads it out loud. She's like, and says, well, been a long time since I've been awake. Hey, Toots, looking good. Looking good. I mean, if you're an open autopsy. She's like, Mary, I think, would be legitimately confused because she assumed she's the only unique thing in her universe, I suppose. Maybe not the only unique, because I'm sure, given the fact she's an evil spirit, other evil spirits exist in her world. But in the case of she's the only one in that case. So she's a little kid, so she just tries to put him back in the case he's giggling. Like, no, sweetheart, sorry, but I'm a little stiff too long. And let me tell you, I've got some wood I gotta use. She just makes, jokes along those lines. So, she immediately tries to put him back into his place. Like, she doesn't understand what's going on here. And it's like, look, look, I don't want any trouble, Toots, so why don't I go my own way? You go your own way, and we can. And then she just throws him back in the case with like some power. Just, it's like, all right, lady. And then he realized he's also sensing. He's like, you're different, aren't you? Well, what's going on? And then he actually, I see what the problem is. You got a little too much soul in your being. We can fix that. And then he starts to just take her soul, which she pretty much is. She's an evil soul that lingers. Takes her soul and just starts to fuse it with one of the dolls, which I believe that's how Slappy works. He soul absorption and feeds himself, possesses and turns people into dummies for fun, and turns owners into his slaves. Basically, yeah, he essentially starts to turn her into a dummy. Now she can possess dummies, but because he can absorb souls, he basically takes her soul in him, and basically turns what's left of her into a dummy, a Mary Shaw dummy. And he basically said, wow, that was tasty. Now, the tricky part is, it's like, oh, okay. Oh, this one's lingering a bit, boys. Oh, and then she's trying to force her way out. She's an evil soul that is capable of possessing dummies. So the difference is, any of the dummies she's ever possessed didn't have their own sentience to them, as far as we know. Slappy is pretty much 100% sentient. So, can she overpower his soul? I'm probably going to have to go on record and say no, she cannot. Because there's nothing to indicate she can. And even if she could, Slappy gets tricked by people to go back to sleep. Not someone overpowering his soul or willpower, except for one person he enslaved. So it's possible, but when you're actually inside his body, his spirit, if you will, instead of just the handler of him being, I pulled my hand out of you, how dare you, and all that. Instead of that, it's a different type of fighting of wills, or battle of wills in that case. In which case, I think Slappy kind of just wins ultimately. Simply because he has the ability to absorb souls. Mary does not. He's dealt with more supernatural things than Mary has. Mary doesn't usually have to deal with supernatural, or she never had to deal with supernatural as far as we know. So he has more experience dealing with Mary. Mary being a spirit means she's actually more prone to having her soul absorbed than a normal individual. So ultimately, I do have to say it's going to be Slappy, I think, that wins this. But this is a weird fight. This one is definitely a weird fight. There's going to be a lot of throwing around name calling, and then ultimately the final abilities being basically being the deciding factor. Basically soul absorption, or making a noise. And he can't even scream, and she can't even use her ability to steal his tongue, because he doesn't really have a tongue. He's technically has a wooden tongue on the roof of his puppet mouth, but she can't really steal that. So it kind of puts her in a awkward position. So let's put it this way. Is there any way that she could win? I don't really think there is. I mean, she could probably just keep him at bay and keep him locked up. Maybe reread the words or something like that. Especially if Slappy, being kind of arrogant on some levels, opens his big mouth and says, I'm not gonna let you read those words again, baby. And then she reads, oh, I'll read her words again. Okay. Now, granted, Mary Shaw can't talk on her own, but she's able to throw her voice as a ventriloquist and a supernatural spirit. So, yes, she could still read the words out loud, in theory. So, I will say there's maybe a 10% chance that happens, but 90% of the time, I'm going to say it's Slappy. Slappy wins this fight. But anyway, what do you think? Do you think Slappy wins, or do you think Mary Shaw wins? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, who wants to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. There will be a review tomorrow. I don't have anything else planned for tomorrow. I don't think so. I don't believe so. But yeah, keep your eyes out for that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, folks. Actually, there'll be 2 reviews tomorrow. I just realized. I gotta go see, I'm going to see Missing Link tomorrow, so keep your eyes out for that. So thanks for watching. See you next time, folks.